Hello and welcome to Two Girls in the Pod. I'm Sharon.
I'm Christy.
And we are super duper uber excited today because we have a guest on and we have known her since, she was such a child.
Knee high to a tadpole. That's what my family would say.
That's a southern version. No. But, what's really cool is we really have known her. They're more like family to us. And on a previous episode, we had her mom, June Medina, on, and this is her daughter, Alycia. So if you guys go back and listen to that episode, then you're going to know Alycia.
You'll hear the stories. So welcome to being on our show today.
Yes.
Our podcast. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here today.
Yeah.
But one of the reasons we wanted you on here is because, we really have known you since you were young and everything that, we've kind of known your life a little bit.
Yes.
And here you are today, a business owner.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Gosh.
How did that happen for you? Because there were some rocky spots.
Oh, a lot of rocky spots for sure. But I just kind of, I didn't want to be in the 9-to-5 thing anymore. And so I kind of just figured this out. I don't know. It was kind of just off of a whim. I like to do eyebrows a lot. So I figured, microblading is kind of a good thing to get into. So that's what I did. I just went ahead.
Because you've always kind of been artsy.
Yeah, somewhat. Yeah.
Well, artsy for us.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't just happen overnight. What has been some of the experience you've had that kind of got you to here? Because you didn't go right into it right away. You had this life before that.
Oh yeah, like the whole life before this. I wanted to be a drug and an addictions counselor, and went to school for that. And I didn't really care too much for that. Actually, that wasn't working out for me. And then I had a couple of kids. Now I have 3 kids. But I had my first child. I was going to school, and I have a lot of stories with that. I don't even know. I can't really go into all of that, right?
Because it wasn't as successful as you wanted. The relationship was not as successful as you wanted it.
Yeah, no, not at all. Not at all. And then I ended up getting pregnant again, the same dad, and then I just kept going to school, and then I moved into an apartment, and then a house, and then moved out of there and into another apartment. And yeah, it was crazy. Nothing was easy at all. And then I got my aesthetician license, and then I started working in a salon. Then I worked in a different salon, and then I opened up this place.
So it's been a full journey, yes.
Because, even when you describe that, it's kind of like you're floundering about, kind of like you don't know purpose, you don't have direction, would you say?
None at all. I was working the 9-to-5 at a hotel, and I was just like, I hate this. I don't want to do this anymore. I absolutely hate this. And one day I was just like, I'm just going to quit. I don't know what's going to happen, and I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm just going to quit. And that's what I did. I just quit.
Big leap of faith.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I hope the universe will just take care of me. And I knew it would, so I just quit. I had rent, $1,000 in rent. I had a car payment, other bills, all this other stuff. And I was like, how am I gonna? The universe will take care of that. So I was just like, all right, I'm done. And then I figured it out, I guess.
Well, and I think that it's that way for a lot of people. I mean, when you're following a dream and or before you even know what that dream is, right, there's all this unexpected and all this stuff that you don't know, but you sometimes just have to take that leap.
Yeah, definitely.
Because your youth it was a little bit of a struggle for you.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Why do you think it was such a struggle? Because you're very intelligent. So right after, no, you are. Academically, you're intelligent. You're intelligent.
Thank you.
But things were a struggle for you.
Really, though. Yeah, I've always wanted to go against everything, like against the grain and do things my way, Yeah, so I think that's one thing that helped me with this, though, because I was just like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do this. And I just kept to it. But like as a teenager, that's always how I was. It's just like really strong-willed and like, no, I'm not going to do what you say. And that's how it was with like the jobs and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't follow direction very well, or like being told what to do and what time to be here, or I can't be off a certain day, or, you know, stuff like that. And I was just like, I can't live the rest of my life working for somebody, man. Like, this is just not going to work for me. You know, It was just horrible like that. So I think maybe that helped, that being like hard-headed, I guess my grandma would call it, that helped me out.
Yeah.
Well, you know, what's interesting is, you know, one of the things you said is that as in your youth, you were really fighting against the grain, which didn't always go in your favor.
No.
But using that, it's the same skill set.
Yes.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's that stubborn. You're a little stubborn.
Oh, yeah, for sure. A little.
But it got you to where you need to be, really.
So
Yeah.
Yes, and it continues, like, as I'm here, it just continues. I have to be stubborn with myself kind of now, you know, if that makes sense. Like, now I'm like, okay, well, you're your own boss, so you have to be your own boss. You have to discipline yourself. You have to make sure that this is in line, that's in line. You're here at this time, and you're taking care of your clients, and they have a problem. You have to make sure that you're, like, you know, taking care of that problem, and not just running around it or being like, well, I don't care what you have to say, like I usually would, you know? It's like, oh, okay, well, how are we going to fix this? All right, even though sometimes I just want to be like, well, then if you have a problem, then go. I can't be like that, you know?
Well, you could, and you'd have no business.
Exactly, right?
I don't care. You don't like your eyebrows? Go find somebody to fix them.
Exactly. No, I can't be like that. I cannot be like that. No way.
Well, you know, and it's so funny because you know how much we love you, and just love the fact that we've been in your life for so long, and to see you on this journey, and to know that you've put work into it, because you didn't just wake up one day and say, hey world, here I am.
No. Yeah. That makes me kind of emotional, because it's been a lot of work. A lot of work. Like, it's like, just because I don't clock in and out, like, it's like late nights, like 3 a.m., 4 a.m., that I'm just like, how do I open my own business, LLC, this and that? Like, you know, it's just like papers and research, and it's just like, I don't even know what I'm doing. And like, now I do, but in the beginning, you know, and now still I kind of don't know what I'm doing with some things. Like, so, you know,
It's a learning
it's always a learning experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still have to, I'm always learning, and that's what I forever want to be learning, of course, improving, you know. Yeah.
Well, and I think that's what it is. We oftentimes, you know, one of the big things about our podcast is really talking with people about their mental journey, because without the mental journey, it's this really rich combination. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you had that mental journey. Like, if you sit back and you say, oh my God, those people that were kind of key in your life do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I guess there's like a few people along the way, but mostly my children are the only people that I feel like really like made me keep going, you know what I mean? But I guess the instructors here and there, but not really. It's just myself. I would say myself. I had to be my biggest believer, because I mean, I love my family and everything, but if I'm being honest completely, they were more like, well, you might just need to get a regular job. Well, that might not work. Well, you know, and I was just like, I'm not listening to any of this. Like, that's, you know, like, I'm just going to keep, like, how I am. Like, I'm not listening to you. That's ridiculous. Okay, well, then you keep working, like, how you work, and I'm going to just continue to create a different life for myself and my family. And that's what I'm just going to continue to do.
Awesome.
Well, and I think, you know, even when you said that I think that whether it's your parent, your grandparent, things like that, they're more concerned about the here and now. Whereas I think with you were looking more at the bigger picture. It's not, I'm not going to go do the 9 to 5 that I freaking hate.
Yeah.
Because then I'm, you know, telling bosses, I ain't doing that. No.
Yeah. Right. And then I'm like, and I'm just going to get stuck in it again. I'm not going to have time to do what I really want to do over here, work on anything, because I'm just going to be stuck over there, tired. It's just going to be the same cycle. And I'm not going to have time to work on what I really want to work on. And like, I don't know, well, you might just have to get a real job. I'm like, what is a real job? You know, I'm like, I do have
one
a real job. Yes, one that I hate. I'm like, no, thank you. No. No.
And you know, I think that if people pause and think about that, how many times they've had a job that they hated. Yeah. But how many times they've stayed at, and I've worked with people who have stayed at a job they hated for 20 years to retire, and they're like, You stayed somewhere for 20 years?
Mm-hmm. No, I hear that a lot. It's like, that's your mental prison. Like that, wherever you don't want to be is like your prison mentally. And so I'd always just, like, if it's sitting in traffic and you're just like, oh, I hate it, I hate this, like you're in prison mentally. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's just, all those jobs were just in prison mentally. Like, I just couldn't handle it.
And you think about all the people that will stay in a position like that because they're afraid to do anything else.
They're so afraid. They're so afraid. And I could see why they would be afraid, but I just think differently, I guess. I'm just like, I was afraid, of course I was. I was just like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I should quit this job. But then I was just like, well, why not?
Mm-hmm.
What's the worst that could happen? I don't know. I'm not going to die.
Maybe be happy if I quit. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, and then I'll be forced to figure something out. Like, if I do quit, then I'm going to be forced to figure something else out. Like, I'm not going to have any other choice, you know? So I was just like, hey, I'm not going into work today, and I'm not coming back. That's what it was.
C'est la vie.
Yeah. You didn't put in your 2 weeks? I'm like, no, I'm not trying to be there for another 2 weeks. I wanted to quit right then and there. I don't need a reference if I'm not going to work that ever again. You know what I mean?
True. If I own my own business, I don't need your reference.
Right, I don't really need your reference.
Don't care what you have to say because it's not going to be nice.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's interesting when you said that about mental prison is because I think that so much of the time, a lot of people are stuck in that mental prison and don't even understand it. They don't understand that they have the ability to get out of it. They're the ones with the key.
Right.
But we get so stuck in this thing of, you got to make this money. You follow a social construct.
Exactly. It's like the Matrix, I say. That's why I'm like, just escape the Matrix. I was just telling my friend that last night. She does lashes, and she only can do them like a very small time during the week, you know, because she works a real job. Oh my God. You know, and she's just like, man, I wish I could quit. I wish I could. I'm just like, then do it. Just do it. Just do it. I say F it and just quit and just start doing lashes, you know. And she's just like, I know, but I don't know because that's my comfort zone. Like I
There's a security blanket.
Mm-hmm. It's like that steady money. I'm like, yes, but there will be money coming in from your lashes. You already do it, you know. So it's just like, I'm always just like, just quit. Just do what you want to do. Just quit.
But you really do have to wholeheartedly believe in what you're going into to make that work too.
Yeah. Right. Yes. And make sure that you have like a passion for whatever it is that you want. So like sometimes whenever I have clients and they're like, oh yeah, I hate my job. And I'm like, well, what is it that you like really love? Like, what is it that you really like to do and that you really want to do? And they'll tell me and I'm like, so then do that. You know, they're like, well, I would really love to do like a fish farm or like some crazy stuff that I hear. I'm like, that's cool.
Right.
Heck yeah, that's way cool. I would have never thought of that. And then just like, well, I'm like, well, then do it. Like, why wouldn't you? Why not? They're like, yeah, maybe I will. Heck yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's that thing of people go to that place of, oh my God, I've got rent, I've got this, I've got that.
Yes.
And that is a strong deterrent to quitting something.
Right.
We were talking on our drive up here that, you know what, or down here, I guess, about we didn't realize that what a passion we had for the podcasting. We love it. It's something we do together. We feel like we're equally invested in it. There's all these things, you know, and we can talk about it all the time. And not that I don't love being a therapist, people. I do. I love being a therapist, but this is something that we actually get to do together, which is a little bit different. And so we do the practice together, but I do the therapy. She does all the, you know, behind the scenes stuff, which kind of keeps the business running. But then it was like, what can we do to give back? Because we like giving back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about this. Let's talk about getting out of those mental prisons, you know?
Yes.
And that's what it is. We get imprisoned in these thoughts and these ideas that somebody else tells us.
Right.
And not that they're saying it, I think, to be hurtful.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It does. It is kind of hurtful because it's like, wow, you really don't believe in me like that. But at the end of the day, I think it's more of like their own thoughts about themselves, or like they don't believe that they are just, or anyone can just like, oh my gosh, there's just no way. Like if you quit that, how are you going to pay your rent? How are you going to, like, you don't think I've like not thought about that?
I think it does come from a place of concern, but unfortunately it also comes from a place of fear of what they have not been able to do, I think, a lot of times.
Because I often wonder how many people actually are doing what they love.
Yeah.
And I always tell people, I love what I do. I don't sit there and say, oh my God, this is my job, because I really do love being a therapist. I've done it for a long time. I have a passion for it.
Yeah.
We love doing this. It's something that's fun. It's something that we invest in. Yeah. And, you did that. You found your spot. How did you find this spot?
Oh, yeah. It was actually, that's interesting because I saw it on the Eclipse property management website, and it was pretty run down in here. It wasn't very nice at all. And when I first became an esthetician, when I was working in Del Norte at this little salon with Stacy, and I saw this and I was just like, oh, that'd be cool. But in my head, I was just like, I don't know though, like my own place, like that's kind of scary. I don't know. I don't think I'm ready for that right now. And, and then she moved away, and then I went up to Alamosa with this other lady, and that unfortunately or fortunately didn't end up working out. So then this place was still available. And I was like, you know what? I was paying the same rent over there as it is here. And so I was like, I'm just going to do it. And one of those things like, F it, I'm just going to do it. My F it attitude, I always say, is like, sometimes the F it's get me in really big trouble, but sometimes the F it's are really good. I was just like, F it, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to see if I can get this place. So that's what I did. I came over here and I just got it. And then my partner, he helped me paint it in here and put it new flooring. I bought the flooring and everything, and then we just slowly put it together. It seemed like it took forever, but like to me, because I wanted it done right away and I wanted it nice right away. And there's still some things, and I'm like, well, there could be some decorations. That sign could be better. Like I'm always, but yeah, I found this place pretty. It just stayed on the website. And
it had your name, man.
Always see it. Yeah, I always saw it. And I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead. Yeah, let's just do it. Let's just go ahead and do it. I was kind of scared.
I think that's typical, though, for business owners. You're getting started. You really want to invest in it. And so you do. As you go along, you kind of grow with it and you see where you want to make improvements. And that's part of the fun of it.
Right. It's part of the fun. Yeah, because what would it be fun if it was just all done right now?
Yeah, exactly.
We just moved into an office. We had been just subletting for one day a week, because I do therapy only one day a week in an office. Mm-hmm. We didn't want to move. Oh God, to change insurance information is just horrible. So we asked them, they said, oh, there's this little place down in the basement. And me and Christy, what basement?
Yeah,
we didn't even know a basement. So they take us down there. It's differently shaped. It's kind of got a funky shape. It was tech room-like, and so we're there and we walk in and this will work. It's not very big. They said, we'll take out the counter and we'll put new floors in, and we'll paint whatever color you wanted. And so
no windows, because it was like a computer lab. So
So we're there and we pick
avocado whip as our paint color to bring the outdoors in. Made it all bright, green and bright.
And even my clients, how is that going to be? What is it going to look like? Because I took them in before. And then that's what we did. We created this space. And my clients are like, oh my God, we love this color. And we made it ours. And that's what you're doing. And I think whenever you do these things, when you make it yours, the people who walk in feel that connection right away.
Yeah, definitely.
And so I think that's really the big thing. I just want to say to the audience out there that she is saying, F it. And because normally that would not be the word. So look, she all censoring for you guys.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know what I can say or what I can't, but I'm not gonna say it.
I just think that's so cute. I do believe everybody who listens to our podcast is over the age.
I'm like, can I say it? No.
But I think that's so cute.
Yeah.
Because before, that would like right out.
Oh yeah.
We like people to be who they are, but that's cute.
Yeah. Yes.
Because it is. And so you have these 3 kids. So now you're navigating motherhood and being a business owner.
How did you decide though that you wanted to get your licensure to be an esthetician? I mean, how does
actually, I was working at Detox, and that's one of the things that I was like, oh man, I don't actually want to do this, which Detox is obviously like not the best place to be working, but whatever, and I was just like, I don't think think this is just a field that I actually want to do. And so then I remembered I wanted to get my eyebrows microbladed myself like a couple years ago, and I saw how expensive it was. And I was like, dang, just to put like little hairs in your eyebrows and fill them in and change your, I was like, well, that's kind of expensive. So I just forgot about it. And then I thought later on, what could I do? Because I wanted to do like makeup on people. And I'm like, that's not going to make me any money, man. Like I needed to make a living. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, I need to make a living. I'm not just trying to make change here. You know what I mean? Like I love what I do, but at the same time, I would like to make a living. And so I looked up what you have to do microblading in the state of Colorado. And it was like, you have to be a licensed cosmetologist in order to do that. And I didn't read the esthetician part because I didn't even know what esthetician was. And I called the school and I was like, hey, can you sign me up for cosmetology school? Because I had already finished my Associate of Arts and whatever. She's like, yeah, do you want to do esthetician or do you want to do cosmetology? And I was like, well, I don't know. So I looked up esthetician and I was like, actually, yeah, that's exactly what I need to do. And so I looked if that would be okay. In the state of Colorado, you need to be a licensed esthetician or a cosmetologist. So I was like, perfect in order to do microblading here in the state of Colorado. So I just went ahead and I was like, well, sign me up then. And I was pregnant with my son. So the semester started in January. And I had him January 26th. And then I just went right back into school like 2 weeks, not even 2 weeks. It was like the next week, honestly. I was like, I'm fully functional. Like I can walk. I'm fine. And so I just went right back to school and I finished that. And yeah, and then I went to California in May whenever I graduated. So it didn't even take long. It was just like January to May, esthetician license, and then a certificate. And then I have to go obviously for boards and whatnot, whatever, which I did, obviously. And then I went and I got that certificate in California in Huntington Beach. That was cool. That was awesome.
Yeah, you look like you're really kind of enjoying that.
Yeah.
Look at you. Now, what was that for?
The microblading.
Okay.
Yeah, the microblading. I wanted to learn somewhere else. Like I wanted to bring that luxury and that like high quality down here to the valley, so that I'm not just throwing on these random blocky eyebrows on these people.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Who wants blocks above their eyes?
I just want people to know that her eyebrows are perfect. So
Yes.
great representation.
Well, thank you.
And often Christine, she'll be there and she'll say, I really need to get my eyebrows done. I want to do that. And so, yeah, it's really one of those things where they're like,
I need to make an appointment.
Of course. You know I got you over here. Of course.
But I think that's what it is that, and when you talk about that mental health piece, we had on, she does hair, amazing hairstyles, amazing. She even talked about that. And I think the microblading and stuff like that goes along with it is how you look changes how you feel.
Oh yeah, for sure. That is one of the most, that also gets me emotional because like whenever somebody comes in and they can't even look me in the eye because I'm like, don't come with any eyebrows, don't come with any like makeup or anything. And they come in and they're just like face down and they're like, I can't look at you, like don't look at me kind of thing. And then they look at their eyebrows and they're just like, oh my gosh. And then they have this whole new and they're just looking at me before they leave and they're like, okay, yeah. And like you could just tell like they just feel so good. And I'm just like, that is why I do it. The money's cool, but that is why I do it. That makes me so happy. Like just to see that and know that they get in their car and they're like, ooh, I look good. I'm like, yes, ma'am, yes you do.
Well, and I think that's the thing too, is to understand, for people to understand that when we talk about that thing of being mentally healthy and stuff like that, I think sometimes people forget those little things. I mean, we love going and getting our hair done. That is our thing. You know what I'm saying?
Nice. Yeah.
We love that.
Yeah.
And stepping outside the box, people, I don't know, I couldn't do that with my hair. And
right.
They're like, or somebody was like, oh, I'm in my 50s, I can't do that. Girl, do whatever you want to do. Mm-hmm. Or my husband wouldn't like that.
Yeah.
That's his problem.
Not for him. Yeah.
He will as soon as you get it done. That's what I say.
Yeah.
I get that with the tooth gems a lot. They're like, oh, those are so cool. I love them. I'm like, yeah, let me throw one on you. And they're just like, oh, no, I don't think I could. Oh, I think that's just, I don't know if I could pull that off. Well, my teeth aren't very good. Oh, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, just do it. Like, if that's what you like it, you just told me you liked it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, throw it on. You know what I mean? Like, why not?
Right?
Just, you know.
And for those of you who don't see that, she does kind of,
Yeah.
we'll have this on one of our things, but you can see those gems. It looks really cool.
It does.
Yeah.
Now,
Especially on perfect teeth.
Her mom's worked for a dentist for years.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're all about their teeth, and they all have these amazingly wonderful, beautiful teeth. But what on earth took you to that too? Because then you see all these little things happening with you.
Okay, so the tooth gems, I actually saw them around, let me think, COVID time. Yeah, it was around COVID. And that was the time where I was just like manifesting what I was going to do. I was like, do I make t-shirts? Do I put patches on hats? Like, what am I going to do? Because I did not know what I was going to do. I just knew that I was going to do something for myself. And
But 9 to 5, not 9 to 5.
Not the 9 to 5. That's the only thing I was just like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I saw this girl, and it was on TikTok, and she had a bunch of these gems on. And I was like, whoa, those are so cool. Like, I would love to do those. And so I just kept looking into it. And it was a thought for an idea forever. Like, I was just like, well, maybe I could. Well, I don't know. Well, and then finally I was just like, just do it. Like, get the stuff and just do it. You know? And so I asked my mom, I was like, Mom, would you know how to like put them on? Because she works for the dentist. Obviously she knows how to do that. And so she actually is the one that taught me. I didn't go to any kind of special training or anything like that. So there's that.
Ooh, I didn't know your mom had it in her. Ooh, we're going to talk to her later about that.
Like,
Because she was the one, do that 9 to 5. No.
Yeah, right.
Do the 9 to 5, but I will glam up anybody's teeth.
Right. You know? I was like, she's like, well, it's basically just like the process of like putting on like braces, or like it's the same kind of thing or whatever they do over there. And I was just like, oh, all right, well, show me. And she's like, all right. So she did, and these ones have been on. The one that she did, it was January of 21, and it's still on. Or these are still on right here on the.
Yeah.
So
they do last a long time.
They last a while, yeah. So whenever somebody asks me like how much I charge, and I tell them, they're like, well, that's kind of expensive. I'm like, well, it's gonna last forever. Like, not forever, but
For as long as you take care of them, and you're not there
chewing on ice and stuff.
Or opening your beer bottles with your teeth or something.
Right.
You'll do good.
Exactly, that's what I tell them. Like, just don't eat bricks and you'll be fine.
No rocks either.
You might even keep your teeth.
Well, and I think that's what it is. I think that having those ideas, and that's kind of that same thing, when you said you went to Huntington Beach, this is a little bit different too. So it's kind of bringing style and stuff. Not that there's not style in class in the Valley. We're not saying that.
Yeah.
But it's still, it adds a different element. It adds a different level,
right.
And I think that when you add those levels, I think that's when it's really cool, because once again, each one of these things by itself or together is still adding that confidence to people, that thing of, man, I love the way I look today.
Yeah.
And I think we don't have enough of that.
Right.
You know,
there's a lot of people out there not loving themselves. So
Exactly.
I think that anytime that you can promote that with people, it's really good.
And I think even that thing of not loving yourself, I think so much it's the physical piece.
Yeah, part of it is definitely, I think so, yeah. Because when I don't look, or when I don't feel like I look good, I don't feel good. Like, right. I'm just like, Yeah. So when people come to me and I do a service on them and I can tell that they feel good, I'm just like, well, I did my job today. Like, that's it,
Exactly.
Do you ever think to yourself that could be even a piece of them really starting that mental health journey to being mentally strong, mentally healthy?
Like all the way around. Yeah. Yes, I do. Because I do. So I don't know, I didn't tell you guys, but I graduated with my associates of psychology, all this schooling. Now, I'm still on the 11th. So,
oh, yeah.
yeah. So
Congratulations.
I want eventually, thank you, to incorporate all of this somehow, some way together, and eventually tap into Reiki healing in the future. I'm like, it's gonna be steps, but I'm like, well, I tapped into the whole addictions counseling and the whole psychology thing for a reason. I'm not still really sure what that is going to look like, but I know that I didn't do that for nothing.
Right.
So I'm just like, we'll see what that looks like. But how you said, like, it's like a holistic, it's all the way around, inside, outside. But I think, like, for like recovering addicts, if they feel beautiful on the outside, and that can help them get jobs, it can just help them maybe feel like, oh no, I'm not messing up this body again or this face again, or like I feel good. I'm not going back to that, and just kind of like a holistic.
So it's kind of like a person who actually does a true buy-in to the body.
Yeah.
And says, this is the only one I've got. I better take care of it, kind of thing.
Right.
And not only can I take care of it, but I can look good doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think too, when again, we often talk about the ideas that we have for the podcast and why they're important. And people might say, well, why would you pick Alycia? Well, because it's a journey, and it's not just the journey to your business and being an entrepreneur and all those things, but it's a journey to self.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because in the journey, you grew.
Mm-hmm.
You did realize that sometimes that effort attitude was not working in your favor, and it didn't work in your favor several times in your youth.
Yeah.
But then when it switched somehow in your brain, and that effort attitude became your strength.
Mm-hmm.
Because
right.
I think that's part of that emotional intelligence we talk about. When do you know when to use something?
Yeah.
In your advantage. Youth, not so
right.
much.
Right. No.
And
it's more destructive than anything. Like,
Yeah.
But I think it was always that thing of you wanting to have your independence, to have your identity.
Yes. That's very true.
I think when you are at that place where you want to have an identity, but sometimes in your youth, you don't know what the identity is. Right. But you just know it's not that.
It's just not, exactly.
Don't make me go to school. I'm going to go to the party. I'm going to do what I want to do. Right. Kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Bringing back memories, girl.
Yes.
So now you started this business, and like you said, juggling that with 3 kids. How is that?
Geez. It's kind of hard, but sometimes I'm like, how am I doing this? But I'm just like, I don't have any other choice. I just have to do it. Am I going to give up? No.
Well, I think it's not only that.
It is hard.
Yeah.
It is hard. I'm not even going to lie. Sometimes I have to bring the baby in here or bring the other kids, and they have a mess over here on the floor. They're getting into my supplies, and I'm just like, can you not? So, like, I try not to bring them here, and they have people, like, they have their... Zaylee goes to school. Zaire has the amazing daycare lady, and then the baby goes sometimes with his grandma, Manuel's mom and stuff. So that helps. So it just works. Like, it just works. I always just like trust in the universe. I'm like, hey, can you help me out, please? And it just works. I'm like, this is
nice.
Like, somehow.
And this is what's interesting too, because of our other podcasts, people know that you and your mom would have conflict, especially because of that effort attitude and that stubbornness. But it's interesting to watch your evolution, because one of the things your mom will say about you is you are a really good mom. You're an effective mom.
Yeah.
And it's like you have to have that journey in order to, because you parent very differently than you were as a child.
Yeah, definitely do. Yeah, I have to.
But do you see that in your kids? Any of them that have that effort at which one?
My daughter, for sure, yes.
She is so smart. She is so adorable, man.
Mm-hmm.
Your daughter, her vocabulary, she
articulates.
Yeah, she really does. I have to realize, like, she is just like me. So instead of getting frustrated with her and like yelling and trying to be like, no, it's my way, I'm just like, okay, what is she trying to do here? Like, so I have to just try to understand her more, because it's me. Like,
it's a mini me.
Yeah.
Well, and I think too, when you are at that place where, when you're young and you have the feeling, but you don't know how to articulate it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I know I want something. I know I need something. I don't know what it is. So then I'm doing these behaviors. And I think that's what you're saying with her is you're now able to pause and listen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I do get frustrated, but I try very, very hard. You know what I mean? I do try very hard to be like, okay, Zaylee, okay. What is it that you need? If she just wants to finish doing what she was doing or something like that, I'm like, let's go. No, I want to, rather than being like, I said, let's go. I'm just like, okay, well, what are you doing? What do you need to do? Let me just finish my puzzle. I'm just like, okay, finish your puzzle and then let's go. And as much as I want to be like, no, let's go. I said right now. Like,
because if you don't let her finish the puzzle, you're going to argue with her the amount of time it would take her to finish the puzzle.
Yeah, exactly. So just let it exactly. And then more times than not, she finishes it, puts it away, and then we go about her day, you know?
Yeah.
And you're all happy. And then it's not all the conflict going on.
Exactly.
But I think that's what it is that you learn that. You know, I always tell parents, but I tell the kids that too. You wanted to play your game, and now you've just argued for 30 minutes and missed 30 minutes of play.
Right.
Is that what you were going for? No, I want to play my game. Well, then what do you have to do? How long is the task going to take you? 5 minutes.
Just do it.
But why are you arguing? But it's that thing of wanting to be heard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That thing of just F it.
Yeah.
You know? That's what they're really thinking in their heads. They just can't say it.
Oh, my poor babies.
But I think that's what it is, though. I think a lot of people don't understand that it is some of that stuff, you know? It's not like they're not doing it to be really defiant. They're doing it because why isn't it important to you that I didn't finish my puzzle? Because it's important to me.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
That's all that they know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Really. And then when you're able to sit there and say, you know, how important is it that I leave at 9:05?
Yeah.
Is it going to kill me if I leave at 9:07?
Right. You have to learn that you can't be in control of everything all the time. And it's like not about power over your small child.
Well, and I think the thing is when we learn that we're not in control of anything.
Yeah, right.
You know, there's always a circumstance that kind of, you know, we spend so much time, and I think that becomes a power control. And I think, you know, even with you and your mom, there was always a power control. There was this thing of power going on between you and between her. Mm-hmm. As a parent, there has to be some stuff you have to do as a parent, and you're learning that now.
Yeah.
No, Zadie, you can't go running play in the street, you know, during rush hour. Well, why not? I want to.
Sorry, but you just can't.
And then so that becomes the power struggle, because at her age, she doesn't know the dangers, or she doesn't know that. So it's your responsibility as a parent to teach her that.
Explain why I'm not letting you do this, or, you know, sometimes I do have to catch myself when I ask her to do something, and it's really not that big of a deal, or it doesn't need to be done that way right then and there. I have to step back and just kind of let that power go. Like, it doesn't need to be done right then and there, or how I said it, or how I'm telling her. It's just like, she kind of just, you know, and then she listens better that way. Like, she's like, okay, cool, thanks. Like, I got it. Thank you.
Even along those same lines, when say somebody comes in and they say, I want my eyebrows like this, and you're looking at them like, oh, no, you don't.
Yes.
But you can't sit there and say, oh, girl, that's going to make you look bad. You can't do that, right?
No.
So
I have to figure out how to see.
Okay, exactly. Because it's kind of the same thing, because you definitely don't want to be insulting them.
Right.
Like, why do you want those box eyebrows? Because it ain't going to, you know, because how do you manage that? Because as a business owner, you want people to keep coming back to you and not have a bad reputation.
Right.
For just, I'm not doing it because that ain't going to look good on you. You can't do that.
Yes. I will. I do have to politely tell them, because sometimes they do want just like the solid color and just like a whole blackout, like old school eyebrow. And I'm just like, I don't do that. That's not what I do here. Like, if you've seen my work, that you will understand that I try to create a hyper-realistic eyebrow where there's hairs and slight shading. It's light in the front, dark towards the end. It's a specific style that I like to create. So if you're coming in here for some chola brows, then that's not gonna. Sorry, but you're not gonna get them here.
Do they sit there and do they listen to you then? I mean, because, you know, eyebrows, because, you know, part of that is how you're, as Christy has taught me, how one does their eyebrows is really important because of the framing of the face, all that. Yes, she tells me all that crap. I'm sorry, that stuff. Sorry. It's important stuff, people.
It is important.
Yes.
Because you'll say that. Eyebrows are very important to her, I'm telling you right now.
They are.
Yes, they really are. And sometimes they, how do I say, like, they think that they know, you know, and I'm like, I want to tell them, no, I know that does not look good. Please trust me. That does not look good. That's why you're here. Like, and they're just like, oh no. I think that one just is, or, you know, and I'm like, okay, no, yes. And I can work with you and maybe we can tweak that here or there or whatever. But like sometimes when it's just a whole different thing that they're asking for, I just have to very politely say that I cannot do that. I want to tell a story, but I'm like, should I say this story or not? That's what I'm like, I don't know. I'm like biting my tongue at the same time. There's a lady that came and she is my family. Should I say this? No, huh?
Well,
Why not?
yeah, there you go.
You know what? This is real, so I'm just going to say it. She knew what she was coming in for, a hyper-realistic eyebrow. You know, I wanted them to look real. And so she drew them on very, very thin, a tiny little line. And after I was done, she wasn't very satisfied, you could tell. Well, she put makeup over them and she drew on the little line again. Yeah.
Okay.
So I was just like, those kinds of things, it's like, well, if you're used to something for so long and that's what you think looks good, that was a learning experience though, because I won't in the future, if I map somebody out and I say this is what they're going to look like and I don't get a complete 100%, absolutely, this is what I want, yes. If it's I guess, that's not what you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, we're not going to do it. And
Well, I think, you know, when you said that, because people they get an idea of what that looks like. And you're right, when somebody's had that for so long, it becomes almost that, what I would call that therapeutic approach that one would use. Because, you know, it's with me when people think a certain way. Okay, but how is that working for you? And what are you doing here?
Yeah.
Because if you're here, you want something to be different.
Right. So.
And, you know, sometimes when we see something different, at first it doesn't look like us.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Right. Because it's different.
And yes. So just try them for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
Hear what other people say.
Yeah, that's a good way to. Because all I kept saying was, I know they look good. I promise you they look good. Everybody else was like, yes, they look good. And she's like, no. They're just too thick. I'm like, they are not too thick. They fit your face. But it's like, well, I guess who am I? If I'm the one that's doing them, she's probably just like, well, of course you're going to say that. You do. You know?
Well, but I do think that's true. I think it's what we get so used to that. And then, you know, it's like, oh my God, that's not exactly what I was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, you just wanted you wanted to come in and have me put a little thin brow on. You can do that on your own.
Right. And that's what she had said later. She's like, if I should have just had you to tattoo it on like I had them, like the little, and that's what I had to say. I'm sorry, but I wouldn't have done that. Mm-hmm. And she said, oh no. And I said, no, I'm sorry. I want my work out there in a certain way.
Right.
Well, and I think the thing is true, you know, for her, it's like, you know, sometimes people have to figure out what you want, something different, but what holds you back kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And sometimes I think people are just at that place and they just don't know they have that one moment of bravery. And it's like, oh my God, who is that person?
Yeah, what did I do? Now I'm changing it back.
Yeah, put it back. Erase.
So when you have microblading done, about how long does it last? About
3 to 5 years.
Oh, wow.
And how long does it take to do?
About 3.5 hours, depending. Yeah.
On if you want a thin line or
You just scrape my blade across your...
Yeah. And it gets all done in one session.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And then you come back for a touch-up in 4 to 6 weeks.
Oh, okay.
And so how much does that hurt?
I've used numbing cream. Some clients, they fall asleep. So what I've heard is that it doesn't hurt.
Oh, wow.
No, it doesn't hurt. Trust me, people. Come in.
No, just come on in. No, I use a topical numbing cream and then an anesthetic. It's a vasoconstrictor, so it just like deadens all the nerve endings, and then I can just go through it, and they don't feel anything. They say sometimes they fall asleep. They really do. I'm just like, can you please just don't twitch? That's all I ask.
Twitch.
Bad dream.
Yeah, and that's happened a couple times actually. I'm just like, oh. Yeah, but nothing. I mean, I still
So
stay steady,
how
but
do you-
they do move. So.
One twitch and you got a unibrow.
How do you fix a problem though? I mean, if you're doing an eyebrow and oops.
Oh, that doesn't happen as often now, but in the beginning,
I love that now.
Yeah, now in the beginning, I can't say that I messed up like too noticeably crazy.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it was very noticeable, but to them, they wouldn't know the difference. But it was just like the little things, like the hair pattern was not the same on both sides, or like their one hair was a little bit off, and it just kind of threw it off for me. And I'm kind of OCD with it, so I'm just like, ugh, that hair was just like slightly a little bit higher than that would be better. And so that was just for me, and you can't fix it. Yeah, or you can fix it, but it's just like, I don't know. In my head, okay, this is how it would go down. I'm sitting in the chair, and I would make a little bit of a oops, and I would just say, oh my god. And then I would just step back for a second. Just give me a moment, and I have to look and just stay calm. I just have to stay calm, even though in my head and in my heart, I'm just like, oh my god, oh no, this isn't good. Okay, well, now I'm gonna have to do the same to that side, because if not, then it's gonna throw it off. And I just had to, you just have to figure it out in your head, like, because you can't erase, like, if you're drawing,
Yeah.
you know, so you just have to kind of go over it. It's the same with tattooing, like when I'm doing little tattoos here and there, I'm just like, oh, that line kind of went out. I'm just going to try to make it a little bit thicker here, and then out of it a shade, so that you can't notice it, you know, because you can't erase it.
Right.
Yeah, because that's another thing you do.
Yeah.
You do little tattoos?
Little tattoos, and I'm starting to get into a little bit bigger ones, but...
The fish. You did the fish,
Yeah.
right? It wasn't, and for fishermen out there, when she drew a big fish, she drew a big fish. It was not make-believe. It wasn't like you caught a minnow and you tell your friends it was 7 inches or whatever.
Yeah, that's a good size one.
Yeah, no, that was my sister, and she was like, I believe in you. I just want like a realistic fish right here in between these really nice pieces that she has, like realistic like pieces. And I was like, Joy, you can't expect me to do something like that. I can't do that. In my head, I was like, I can't. And I was like, okay, I can't say I can't. Don't say I can't. And she's like, you need to. Just do it. Just do it. And I was just like, Joy, I don't know. And she's like, well, I'm going back to Grand Junction in a couple days, so you need to finish it all in one sitting. Because usually, like, I like to take my time, and then I'll be like, well, whatever I didn't finish, like, we'll get back into it, you know? But this one, I was like, let me just try to get it done. Like, why not? It's not that crazy of a thing. Like, let me just try to get it done. So we sat there, and I got it done within like 4 hours. Yeah, it was like 4.5 hours.
Oh wow!
Oh my goodness, we're gonna have to check it out on her.
Yeah,
Sure. I wonder how it healed. I have to ask her. Yeah, but that was when I saw it. I was like, I didn't do that. I didn't do that. She's like, I told you, Alycia, you could do this. So that was one of those like steps of like, all right, okay, yeah, I think I could do this. And I'm just kind of like stepping up more.
Well, what made you decide to do the tiny tattoos?
Oh yeah, so I have the permanent makeup machine that I use for eyebrows. I was seeing ads all over my Facebook and stuff like that, because I just follow eyebrows all, like, that's what I obsess. So I'm always like looking. Well, anyway, it was like micro tattoos for permanent makeup artists. Get into that, and I was like, well, I mean, I have a machine. And then ever since I've been little, I've wanted to do tattoos, but it was always one of those things like, oh no, I can't do that, you know? Mm-hmm. And then I was like, well, I mean, I could maybe try it. So I got some eyebrow ink that I had in this kit that I had for the microblading. Mm-hmm. And I just got the needle. I bought some needles off Amazon, and I just tried it on a fake skin. And I was just like, I'll buy some ink. Hey, does anyone want a tattoo? And they're just kind of...
You just said F it and
F it, exactly. That's one of those things where I was like, F it, let's do it. Mm-hmm. And then you would be surprised on the people that would let me, because I was like, there's no way anyone's going to let me, bro. Like, there's no way. Why would they let me? I'm just learning. Like, why would they come to me when there's a million other people that they can go to? No, you'd be surprised. They're like, yeah. And then some people would just be like, I don't even care if it looks good. Just go ahead. This one girl, she said she wants butterflies up her arm, right? She's like, yeah, I don't even care if it looks good. Just go ahead and do it. And I was like, I mean, okay, well, that makes me feel better, because if it doesn't look good, then I'm not, if you just want butterflies, cool. Okay, let's do it then.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
oh my goodness.
The name of your business is FrostBit Beauty, correct? Mm-hmm. And what services do you offer?
So waxing, lash lifts and tints, tooth gems, microblading, of course, micro tattoos, and like everything eyebrow laminations, tinting, anything eyebrow. I always have to think, I'm like, what else? But that's it. I was doing facials, but I don't really care for facials anymore.
So you said F it?
If it, yeah. Facials, I'm over it.
Didn't make me happy.
No, exactly. It wasn't making me, every time somebody was like, can I have a facial? I'm like, yeah, I guess. I got the machine over there, but it wasn't making me like, yeah, let's get you a facial, yeah. And so I was just like, well, I'm not going to do them then if that's not something that I'm like absolutely in love with, you know?
Right.
So I just...
So do you have a phone number, a plate? You know, how would people get in touch with you?
Oh, yeah. So it's just my Instagram is FrostBit Beauty. And then my website, www.frostbitbeauty.com. My phone number, 720-601-0121.
Awesome.
People, if you're driving through the San Luis Valley and you have a minute, stop by, see Alycia. You know, she will definitely take care of you. She's going to make you look pretty. And you just, those little things that we always talk about doing for yourself. Sometimes, you know, it's I'm in Monte Vista. I'm going to just pull over. I'm going to do something, make it happen.
Don't be afraid to try something new.
Exactly. You know, Alycia, thank you so much. Well, you know, we've watched you on this journey, and you have just turned out to be this amazing young lady who's doing a lot of stuff, and you know, we're just so happy that we've got to witness it.
Yeah,
you know,
thank you. Yeah, you have actually, very, very much so.
But we're so happy for you that this is coming into fruition and you're enjoying it. That's awesome that you get to follow your passion.
So thank you so much for listening. As always, take care of yourself and pay it forward, and we will be back next time. Thank you so much. Bye.